Itachi and Maki. These characters have massive parallels within the confines of their story, and both are put into a position where they need to slaughter their own prestigious clans with powerful members. The question there lies, what would happen if Maki took the place of Itachi as the one entrusted to bring down the Uchiha clan? But before we break it all down, if you guys like more videos like this, do me a huge favor and drop a like, comment, and sub, and let's jump straight into it. First, let's keep in mind who she would be slaughtering here. Obviously, notorious members like Madara, Obito, Itachi, etc. would not be on the list here as they were not in the village at the time, or were not a part of the Uchiha clan to be slaughtered. So the biggest worries here would be the Uchiha police force, who, keep in mind, will be caught off guard in the confines of their own home, as well as the biggest issue, that being Fugaku Uchiha. So unfortunately, we don't really see Fugaku in action, but based on statements in the narrative story, we can determine roughly how strong he was. First of all, in terms of title, he was regarded as being on the level of Minato the Yellow Flash in the Sannin for his impact on the Third War, and was even considered a candidate for the Hokage. But based on the fact that he was mainly an Uchiha, he was never seriously considered and never got the hype that the others got. Also, in Itachi's novel Book of Daylight, Fugaku states that only the Sharingan can control the Nine Tails. I believe in the anime as well, he also implied that he could take back control of the Nine Tails, but he got the order from higher up, implying Danzo to not interfere. This would also add to aspects of his visual prowess, gaining him the title of Wicked Eye Fugaku, on top of the fact that he also has a Mangekyo Sharingan. We didn't get to see him fight Itachi during the clan massacre, but Itachi does state that father is the worst possible enemy for me, therefore implying that he didn't necessarily have the confidence with certainty that he would be able to defeat his father, and the reason that he won was that his father didn't want to have a death match with his son, not necessarily that he thought that he would lose. It's actually implied quite the opposite, and it's much likely that an older, more experienced, genius leader of the Uchiha clan, who's regarded highly with his Mangekyo Sharingan, would likely be more powerful than his prodigy son. If anything, we could place him at roughly the same level of 13-year-old Anbu Itachi. Although he isn't likely as strong as full-grown Itachi, even a younger Itachi was stated by Orochimaru himself to be stronger than himself, which lines up with what I stated earlier, so he likely would also be stronger than the four-tailed Shippuden Naruto, and also if he was in Orochimaru's place, he would likely also be able to survive that tailed beast bomb, which leveled up a landscape and created a crater of hundreds of meters. This Bijudama was calculated to be going around the speed of Mach 1.8 or around 613 meters per second, which Orochimaru was still able to react to, so it's likely that someone likely stronger than himself, such as Fugaku, would also be able to do something similar, and this might likely be on the upper limits of his reaction speed. There are also Mangekyo abilities which are unknown, but he likely has at least one Genjutsu ability, which is very prevalent for the Uchiha Mangekyo, such as the Tsukuyomi and the Karuamatsukami jutsus, and he likely has one physical ability, like the Amaterasu. On top of this, we can safely assume that he likely has access to at least a partial Susanoo, as every Uchiha that's awakened a double Mangekyo Sharingan has been able to utilize one without much strain. And now let's move on to the Hidden Leaf Police scaling. I mean, this one's a little bit more of a joke, but the Hidden Leaf Police in general are made up of a large portion of Jonin and Chunin members, which should be very powerful, but nowhere near the level of Shisui, Fugaku, or Itachi. It's likely that if Maki can stand up to Fugaku, she'd be able to absolutely massacre the rest of the Uchihas no problem. Technically, the strength of a Jonin should be pretty powerful, as shown early on in part 1 and on many instances. There are also moments when random Jonin are able to blitz some of the Genin, such as, I think his name is Hayate, the sick half-dead Jonin who could blitz and get in front of Neji and stop him and help stop the fight. And when Genma calls Chunin exam Sasuke the level of a Chunin and not necessarily the level of a Jonin. So there are mishandlings with their scaling, but I'd say as a whole, on average, with the exclusion of exceptional Jonin, it seems that the Jonin of the Leaf as a whole, which should be partly representative of the overall strength of the police force, should probably be like wall to building level on average in terms of attack potency and destructive capacity, and it's pretty likely that nearly all of them are beneath subsonic for the most part in terms of speed. Now let's talk about Maki. So Maki's pretty interesting because she's actually shown some pretty incredible feats even before she gets her full heavenly restriction. For example, before she gets it, in terms of attack and strength, she's able to damage natural disaster curses, which are very high special grade levels, such as Hanami and Dagon, within the confines of his own domain with her Playful Cloud, which solely relies on the user's strength. In terms of speed, she's portrayed to be on a level more physically fit than Nobara and Megami early on. She's also able to cut and dodge her sister's cursed energy bullets, which have been calculated to be roughly at subsonic levels, or around 88 meters per second to be exact. In terms of durability, you know, she also has an innate toughness. She's able to survive Jogo's Flames, which is a special grade curse, whereas others like Naobito weren't so lucky. And this was also before her full heavenly restriction. And afterwards, she's stated to be on a level of Toji Zenin, and she was able to blitz her father Ogi, who thought of himself as an equal to Naobito, the head of the clan. It's likely he was referring to overall attack potency, since Naoya and Naobito are notorious for their speed. Either way, he's a special grade 1 who was absolutely blitzed by Maki. Maki was able to counter-react and match Naoya's top speed, which was literally stated to be subsonic. This does seem a bit of a lowball overall, since some prior feats go to show some mild inconsistencies that would actually place her faster. When Maki gets her heavenly restriction, she's compared to by the cast and by the author statements to be equal to Toji. This is in reference to speed, strength, and perception, so we can still use some of his feats to cover her as well, as long as they're not strategy related. Toji, once brought back with the seance, was able to grab Megami and relocate him outside literally faster than he could react, as stated by himself, and he went on to compare him directly to a 3-finger Sukuna, which also was able to do the same to Megami. The human perception is on the faster end, being 190 milliseconds, and keep in mind Megami's is probably much faster than this by virtue of being a Jujutsu sorcerer. And in the manga, it looks like he brought him outside roughly 10 to 20 meters, which would make him need to travel at least 525 to 1052 meters per second, which are both supersonic speeds, and not subsonic, which would be less than 343 meters per second. She's also able to react to a 15-finger Sukuna later on, and if the fingers linearly scale in terms of power and speed, he should be at least 5 times stronger than the 3-finger Sukuna that Toji was compared to, and the same applies for power as well. In terms of durability, with her heavenly restriction, she gets absurdly strong by virtue of being on Toji's level, who is able to survive everything Dagon possibly could throw at him, including massive sea creatures in the abyss of his own self-amplifying domain. This disaster curse is weaker, but comparable to the other ones, such as Jogo, who was able to level a substantial portion of a city block, including countless skyscrapers as well. Now we move on to Maki's weapon of choice after she gets her full heavenly restriction, which is what Mai, her sister, left her when she died, which is a replica of Toji's split soul katana, which has the unique effect of ignoring physical toughness of everything it comes into contact with, which basically makes Fugaku's durability almost redundant. Now that we've discussed all the major players here and their feats, let's discuss whether she could actually slaughter the Uchiha clan. I think the answer is pretty obvious. Most of their durabilities don't really matter too much, as most of them are too weak for that to even matter, no matter if they were higher, and her speed of a subsonic lowball to supersonic should allow her to blitz pretty much all of the clan members regardless. Genjutsu wouldn't work on her, which is a specialty of the clan by nature of their Kekkei Genkai, the Sharingan, because Genjutsus work by controlling the chakra flow of the victim's nervous system and confusing their 5 senses. But even if you equalize their universes with chakra and cursed energy, Maki still wouldn't have any, so she still wouldn't be impacted. Her only obstacle here would actually be Fugaku, and this is where the problem would lie. Maki isn't his daughter, so he wouldn't let her slaughter him like he did Itachi, and a fight would ensue. By all available metrics, it does seem as though even if you highball his speed to that of Orochimaru reacting to four-tailed Naruto's Bijudama, that would put him at supersonic, or roughly at 613 meters per second via scaling. Although statements do state that Maki is closer to subsonic, which is around half this speed, if we give her the same benefits that we gave in doubts we gave Fugaku in terms of speed scaling feats, she would be closer to about 1052 meters per second, which is almost twice as fast as Fugaku. And this is also comparing actual movement speed to a reaction speed, which further goes in Maki's favor. That's also neglecting any feats in terms of speed and strength against 15-finger Sukuna, which comes much later on. So I'd say that in terms of speed, this very, very safely goes to her. So just with the information that we have already, it's pretty safe to assume that she should be able to completely blitz and slice Fugaku with the blade that negates durability. In terms of pure destructive output, it's likely Fugaku might have the edge here due to the nature of his fire style jutsu, potential Susanoo, and other Mangekyo abilities. But again, Maki does have multi-city level block durability, so it's unlikely she would be one shot. And in terms of attack potency, that's a whole different story because she's able to damage special grade curses as well, who also have city level durabilities. Overall, I mean, I think it's pretty self-evident that even if you slack a little bit and you don't give her the full extent of some of her scaling, it does seem that Maki would still be able to slaughter the Uchiha clan much like she did the Zenin, and a final showdown would then ensue with Fugaku instead of Naoya. So anyways, those are my thoughts on it. Let me know what you guys thought down below. I try to consider all possible factors here, but if I missed anything, definitely let me know down below. If you guys like more content like this, be sure to drop a sub, like, comment, and if you want to engage with me or the community, be sure to join our Discord server, as well as checking out our channel hoodie, and I'll catch you in the next one.